Today in detail, I will learn on my terms. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu. Sarvesham purnam bhavatu. Sarvesham mangalam bhavatu. We already know the meaning. Let there be happiness for all, let there be peace for all, let there be completeness for all, let there be wholeness for all. What is left? You have been talking again and again, but I am reminding you, if the mood of the mind is not ready. Mood means what? Mood depends on the external world. External world, so my mind wholly depends on the mood based on the situation, events, and relationship outside, positive or negative. And then what about the mood of the mind? Mode means how my mind processes the information. My mind processes the information of an event based on pleasure seeking. I may be doing this Mangala Charan mantra for 50 years, no change. No change will take place. And still we are doing in every session. Why we are doing? So that we should check the mode of the mind, how you are processing the information. I explained to you what I explained to you, that happiness is our essential nature. It is not situational. It is not relational. Now I am coming to the same fundamental principle. If I am not in a being mode is what? Mindful mode. And if I am not in a mindful or experiential mode, nothing is going to change in my life. Yes, I'm doing good. I have little problem here and there, and there is little bit of anxiety, little bit of suffering. Our teacher does not understand, but I understand. He does not understand I have such an important assignment today. So the mind has processed the information about an event, that is the mood of the mind, that has changed the mood of the mind, and it is now on the autopilot mood. Autopilot mode, now you can open the eyes. So now it is in autopilot mode. Oh, yeah, no, I will attend the session, later. That is what is happening in our life. So that is why our master says satsang is important. So the first part of this today's lesson is that mood in the mood of the mind. My mind may process the information when I wake up in the morning that I have a headache. Okay, no, I will give the lesson. Today let us suspend the lesson. Postpone it. A seeker is fully aware of this mood of the mind. So when I am aware of the mood of the mind, I can change the mood of the mind. To become a seeker is not easy. Not easy. But continue working to become a seeker is an opportunity That is what the satsang is. Because Mondays, Thursdays, it is only for the higher seekers. Let us see why and how satsang. Perhaps I have never left even a single session on Mondays and Thursdays for the last almost now 5 years. Credit does not go to this weird guy, it goes to the mode and the mood of the mind. First I checked that am I a seeker or not. I told you, once a seeker, always a seeker. Very important lesson today. So the second part of the lesson, we are progressing. Satsang. Do you remember your anxiety, impulsive nature, hesitation, and reaction in daily life? You wake up in the morning, you are upset. You are upset. Oh, no, I have an appointment. You forget. And you did not put this lesson into your calendar, but you have an urgent appointment. I also have an urgent appointment. I also have it. Who doesn't have it? Do I miss it? So pay attention again, the mode and the mood of the mind. How my mind processes the information. Two factors. Modern psychology explains differently, but we in Eastern wisdom, my mind is processing the information based on the world of events outside or based on my real self. We have only two. We are very simplified. So if you are processing the information when you wake up in the morning based on the world outside, I am suffering, I have a lot of problem, I have a lot of pleasure, today is my birthday, today is my death day, oh sorry, we have yet to die, so it is not death day. No, but we have marriage anniversary, everything belongs to the world. So now the moment you have this thought, mind starts processing the information based on your past or hope for the future. From where? From the world outside. Satsang helps you to remind your mind again and again and again and again until you are settled into that state. Your mind sets the value, the mode. Your mind sets the value to treat the path of self-discovery or the discovery of my real self in the world outside. When your mind reminds you at the time of the wake-up, you cannot leave satsang. But a slight deviation, a change in the mind, a thought of perception with projection will deviate. We have already discussed perception with projection. Then in the projection, the things becomes a poisonous object. Why it becomes a poison? I'm attracted to that poison. So what happens with that? I attracted to the poison. I am suffering. I have lot of problem. You don't understand. So you understand it. Better you should understand. So now what happens? Now go to the third subject in this in today's session. So now the master says, what level of a seeker you are? Seeker number 1, you loses the track. Mind is distracted. You are listening, but still your mind is distracted. Progress will not happen. Seeker number 2, I have a big ego. I know everything. Big ego depends on the world outside. Problem? Ego is always insecure. When you feel the insecurity, anxiety, it is your ego. When you blame and complain, it is your ego. You have a sense of insecurity. How can the insecure ego can lead me to permanent happiness, peace, love? Tell me. So only the third level of a seeker is the solution. Distracted mind, why you are distracted? Mind, why you are thinking of the stress and suffering? Mind, why you have changed the track? Do you see the connection? Mode to the mood to the satsang. Now you can be a higher level of a seeker at this moment, but to continue to remain in that, to maintain the status quo is the journey of the progress. I will maintain the status. I will return again. There has to be a teacher also like that. The first teacher is a preacher. I just explained to you before. Second gives you the intellectual explanation. And the third teacher puts the medicine into your mouth. So you have to analyze and reflect what kind of a teacher I am. That is your problem, not my problem. So when I put the medicine into your mouth, here is the treatment. And still, you are the first level of a seeker, it will not work. Why I explained you all the first three steps here, three subjects? This is the answer why we fail in the journey of the self-discovery. Why we fail. And I gave you an example of why we fail. A very solid example. Do you remember? Why is Monday is a problem and why the Friday is a pleasure? I'm looking for situational happiness. My mind is overwhelmed with the problems to solve in the world. Why don't you understand? I am a great seeker, but I have an urgency. For the last 50 years, how many times you have an urgency? This urgency will always be there. Busyness will always be there. But if I don't recognize that busyness, then what is going to happen, we already know. These principles are so simple to explain and understand. But when we start applying, we miss something. Why? Because of the mood and the mode of the mind, because of absence in the satsang, because of I learn only, I do not contemplate. Learning only. I gave you that subject, also explained you beautifully, perhaps according to me. So learning only. What is the mistake? Accumulating spiritual knowledge without applying it. Like owning a map but never starting the journey. What is the outcome? I become intellectual, disconnected and stuck in a theory. So when I stuck in a theory, I say I have lot of problems in my life. How can I solve? You don't understand, teacher. You are just giving a talk and getting the money. Yeah. But if I do reflection only, what is the mistake? It may lead you to overthinking without clarity or direction. Like holding a compass while walking in circle, I gave you that example. So what is the outcome? Self-analysis turns into a mental looping. It changes the mode and the mood of the being. And meditation practice only, trying to still the mind without understanding the purpose. So when I do not understand, it is because my mind is distracted because of the mode and the mood of the mind. How can I bring it back? The moment I have a knowledge, oh, it is because of this, the mind will stop thinking. Try this. If you don't do it, meditation becomes mechanical, frustrating, and shallow. But we don't blame ourselves. We blame the teacher, we blame the journey, we blame the situation outside. What is about this? This is about your mode. I want to live the life of awakening. How it is possible? When you are already surrounded by these failures. And then we discussed about the objective and the subjective perception. Objective and subjective perception. I gave you a couple of examples: gravitation, earth is stationary, driving. All are common, universal to everyone. But in a particular event is universal for you and me. But my mind has a local experience of pain because of that event. You have a local experience of pleasure. That is subjective. That is causing lot of problem. I don't see. I don't see. So there is a problem. What is the solution? I told you wisdom circle. If you remember the wisdom circle, and if you remember the wisdom circle, even in the knowledge you reflected on it, what happens? What happens then, my friend? Your mind is free. You are a great seeker. You continue the journey until the awakening takes place. That is what we say. Huh? So a presence, all pervading presence. When all the time, where in all the location, with whom, with everyone. Then only that awakening. But before awakening takes place, you recognize the six treasures. Our topic is six treasures. You recognize those six treasures are already there with me. But now ask the question why? How it is possible? I have lot of problems. I am very busy. My mind is blaming, complaining, reacting to so many people, so many events in the world, and you are saying that I should, all those six treasures. You have removed the curtain, the cover over these six treasures. There are six enemies. You have removed the veil of the six enemies. So if you still are with me since the beginning of the session, mood in the mood of the mind, I talked about ego, I talked about Mondays, crazy, Fridays, pleasure, satsang. So if you remember all this, now see how the six treasures are always with you. So my master used to say, ego changes its color, becomes the binding desire. It changes the shade, it becomes hesitation and anxiety. It changes the length, it becomes the repeat pleasure, means I get obsessed. Object becomes poison. And then the same ego becomes delusion, claimed as right thinking, The same ego is the pride. The same ego becomes the envy. So these are the 6 treasures. So by these 4 and 5 steps, you have removed the curtain. What is left? 6 treasures. 6 treasures means inner wealth. They are always natural to the mind. They are natural to the mind. They are hidden. Think again. At the back of me, the sun is very hot. Sun is there, so I have put the blackout curtain. It does not mean the sun is absent now. Sun is still present. It is covered, veiled by the blackout curtain. So, more than the mood of the mind, converting the thing into a poisonous object, reason why we fail, level of our seeker, absence of satsang in our daily life creates a curtain that hides the 6 treasures. Otherwise, it is always there. After all, someday you wake up and you say, today I feel very fresh. Sun is also, it's a good morning, not a bad morning. And you rush, you evacuate, that is also natural. You take a glass of water and your mind reminds you of the agenda of the today and you follow it. No, that guy is not giving me my payment, but anyhow, mind remains cool and calm throughout the day. In the evening, you feel totally relaxed. One of the pointers of realizing these 6 steps. Mindset is shifted. You avoid the traps. Now you recognize those traps, so you can avoid these traps. You prioritize treas over the prayers. You embrace now I feel. That is the way. And you engage yourself in consistent practice. And if you want a regular daily practice for relaxation, then you need not to go through these principles. But if you are eyeing on awakening, I have to live into these stages. So now is the time to reflect. Who is ready to reflect? Nobody is ready. You need. I don't see your legs. They are not shaking. You can speak.
I'll go, Girish.
Yes.
When we shared on Saturday, I shared about this understanding the separation between being in a state of meditation when alone, but faced with, public facing or outside of myself where the troubles arise. And after Saturday, I kind of stepped back to all our old lessons and reading my notes and going through things. And even what Sameed said really on Saturday hit me, which was, duplicative of what I was feeling. And it's to reflect on yourself and set the mode and the mood and look within 24/7. And today, as you talk about being a seeker, it's a lot of work to get to where it goes, and it's a commitment. And after, again, Saturday, I was going through a lot of contemplation, reflection, and I said, you know what, from today on, I am going to focus, instead of every outside situation as an outside situation, is I'm going to observe myself during those outside situations. And it's been remarkable, because the things that used to trigger me, and again, it's literally for 36 hours, the things that used to trigger me are not triggering me, because I am self-reflecting and not allowing the reaction, as we talked about, respond, don't react. And I see it and I understand it. So I thank you for taking me down this path.
Thank you, Stephen. You summarized beautifully. You pick up any step today what I summarized, and you constantly reflect what will happen. You are already with the 6 treasures. It's a bad morning mind, mood. It's a mood. So it means I recognize how should I process the information of this today's morning. Mind, why you say it's a bad morning. So now you're processing the information. And the moment you process the information by these steps, pick up any step, and you will see the change. And it makes you a great seeker. Otherwise, I will continue to blame and complain. I'm suffering. I have lot of problems. I have this thing and that thing. It will not work. It will not. Yes, anyone who wants to take. I don't see the legs of anyone, no one. I cannot see, they are shaking. So you can take over.
I'll share.
Okay.
I really like the line that we own the map, but don't start the journey. I feel like I've been a map owner, a collection of maps.
Yes.
And that just really helps to clarify.
Yeah.
What's needed, and picking up that map every morning and throughout every moment of every day, and to walk the journey.
Beautiful. Yeah, I just picked up, my mind picked up M. Map, mood, mode. Mangala Charan, mantra. Make it 5M. Map will show the path. Mind, where are you going? You're going outside? Oh, that is why it's a bad morning or a good morning. Map. Oh, so I started processing the information before any mood takes over. So then the mood is changing. Now I have to do the Mangala Charan and the mantra done. You have to be very quick. When you repeat it, as Stephen said, when you repeat and contemplate and reflect, these principles, you will start playing with these principles. Yes. Anyone more? Dennis, you want to say?
Yes, I think today's lesson was a summary of some of the former sessions, and I've noted a few points to summarize the lesson. So the first point is the mind is a universal processing device that can process information related to the outside world that diverts me from the real self. And the same mind can process information that is related to the real self. And what determines what information the mind is going to be processing is the mode and the mood of the mind. The next point, we have a few classifications of the types of the seekers, and one of the classifications is the 3 types of the seekers. And the third type is the highest, and what makes it the highest is that it is able to recognize when the mind is moving into the first or the second type of the seeker, and switch to the third type. The next point is listening and learning without reflection is useless, as well as the reflection without learning is also useless. Only the two can help us. Two together can help us. Then the objective and subjective perception that events are universal, and they affect everyone, but each one has subjective perception of the same event, and that subjective perception may be vastly different. And the next point, the six enemies belong to the ego and six treasures belong to the real self. The difference is that ego is not real, hence the six enemies are also not real, although they appear as real. So once we truly understand this fact that the six treasures that are always there start manifesting.
Beautifully said. I will take up that first statement that the mind is a universal processing information unit. Choice is what to process. Let us process both and recognize this is false and this is real. The journey begins. And once I see that, this is real, oh, ego, you're trying to be anxious. No, you are always insecure. Do whatever you want to do for the sake of ego, it is always insecure. Give me any security. I'm not political, but our richest guy, where he is now, that I become very richest by creating a thought process as compared to my relationship, near and dear ones in my home, to my honey, to my soulmate, and that creates a lot of problems. Beautifully said. Do you want to say something, Brandy?
Thank you for the lesson. During the lesson today, I was thinking about a definition for satsang that you gave us a while ago, which was company with the truth. And I was thinking about that in relationship to like the day of the week. So, if you're in satsang, the company with the truth of now, for example, there's no Monday and there's no Friday.
Yeah.
And then, to Dennis's point, like, then the way you process things, like this is a day. I'm dealing with the day, and you're less subjective about it. And then when the troubles and the ego and all the things kick in, you can make that separation. You can see the difference.
Beautifully said. Fridays and Sundays, I don't have any session. I kept it. Exceptionally, whenever, sometime I have it, but normally I don't have it. But my time to wake up is the same on Fridays and also on Sundays. It is the same time, it is the same practice of meditation, except, by 7 I'm free of doing my work. I don't have any session, so I spend more time. So a slight deviation in the mode and the mood of the mind will cause a lot of problems. Because then it will be an autopilot. Then it's in a hamster wheel. So I'm just moving on. Now Sunday will come, then I will. What you will? You will remain lazy? You are awake on the bed and you claim that you are sleeping until 10? You don't understand, this is the luxury of life. That is why you are suffering. So yes, how are you?
Thank you, sir. Sir, my understanding is like one of the things that you've said, uh, the event that is happening outside is same for everyone, but the experiences that we are having is localized. So
Yes.
the perception we take from those experiences is the way we live our life, and the religion starts from there itself. So that is one understanding. And like you are saying on this Friday and Monday. So one thing I experienced over the weekend, that even saying it is Friday, it is relative. We remember what is yesterday, and then only we say it's Friday today or it's Monday today. Unless we say what is yesterday, we cannot tell that what is today. So every day will be same. It's a relative information that we have.
Do you see what he says? It's a very, very subtle but very interesting. What is today cannot tell you what happened yesterday. But I carry the impression of yesterday today, and I want to impose it on today. There will be a lot of challenges in my life. My son said me, then my honey said me when yesterday. What is today now? Today is a present moment. But why you carry the burden of the past? Because I give importance to the world outside, situation outside. But how come you give the importance? Ego. What is the nature of ego? Ego is always insecure. So I create layers by layers over these 6 treasures and causes the problem. And then we say, oh no, I have lot of problem. You don't understand. Do you understand that you have a problem? Think. So the master says learning, listening alone is not a solution. Reflection alone is not a solution. Practice alone is not all the three together. My ego stops at one, leaves the two. Again, take up that ego means the outer situation. I label. It changes my mood and the mode of the mind. So that is another way to open up to these 6 treasures of your life. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Place, position, posture. Now it depends on the mood and the mood of your mind. Clarity, if your mind is clear, your mind is not going into the past, it is not digging deep into the yesterday. Yes, suffering we retrieve, it comes from yesterday. We don't want to understand it. And being comfortable, moving the mind and the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. So you see, I'm going at a primary level. You continue to experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So if body has a pain, your mood changes, but I'm not the body, mood changes. You still have a pain, but I'm not the body. Have you tried this? That will leave you comfortable all the time in any situation, my friends. Now come being carefree. And in being carefree, I give just remember, knower in the known. What is this? What topic I discussed pertaining to this? Subjective and objective perception. So my subjective perception is different than yours, but objectively it is the same thing. Body is the same, mind is the same, thoughts are different because of subjectivity. So what should I do? That is why all the teachers in the Eastern wisdom, they say, even without understanding, what they say? Oh, let the thought come and go. Do not chase any thought. It will make you carefree. But we don't understand being carefree. But now we understand. It's a knower can never become the known. The real subject can never become the object. Once that knowledge and awareness is there, we are already carefree. Look at the flow of the breath. Casually, move casually. Don't try to force your mind. If you are forcing your mind, why? One is ego, there is mood and mood of the mind. And then if you want to go deeper, then dig inside what kind of a seeker you are. It will clarify each and everything. Just looking at the flow of the breath, you are aware of the flow of the breath in the space within, and the first neighbor is the world outside. Whatever I know and experience is known. I know the world outside of events. You may say in your mind it is separate and different from me. You have a problem and suffering because of the worldly event. But if it is separate from me, it loosens the hold. It is the same thing which I explained you in 6 steps. Second neighbor is the physical body. Intellectually, I know that I am not the body. We experience the body. Do you experience? Yes. It is comfortable and carefree, yes. So whatever experience is taking place in the body is not you. Why? Because I am not the body. I have to say, I have to think, I have to reflect. Third neighbor is the energy. I am not the breath. Do you see that? Have you ever made, let me make it very simple. The universal air goes into your body, becomes prana. So it means the prana is already present outside. So if the prana is present outside, so life is everywhere. So life is one common factor. Oh, so yeah, it's a manifestation of the consciousness. Fourth neighbor is the mind. Mind, now you can tackle the mind in evoking mood and the mood of the mind. Fifth neighbor, I-ness. You have an eye? Yes, we all have an eye. What do you want? I want peace. It is within you. It is an end of an eye. Now I want to settle the situation, even suffering outside. Her eye is already insecure and you cannot make it secure. And the sixth is the ignorance, and behind that, what is behind that? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Did you understand? Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. So as if you have peeled the skin of each individual to find what is inside, and it is happiness. So when you peel the skin of a mango or otherwise any fruit or veggie, well, that it loses its identity. So all the 4 or 5 steps which I discussed today can be applied. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Then only we recognize peace is the essential nature of every human being. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Wholeness in all, wholeness. So there is a point here, a sense of incompleteness begins the journey of 6 enemies. Who feels a sense of incompleteness? I-ness. What is this I-ness? Ego. What it is seeking? Completeness from the world outside. You see how our masters laid down these principles. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. So it can we say auspiciousness is always there. It is either because of the change in the mood of the mind. It is because of subjective and objective perception. It is because of insecure I-ness. Just see everything clearly. It can only happen in reflection, in meditation. When you reflect, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, and then the mind stops wandering. When it stops wandering, another step, looking deep inside the forehead in the space, continue to look into the space or pick a point in the space and start breathing quick and long in the hissing breath into your chest. Long, deep in the hissing breath into your rib cage. You remember all the steps. And I cannot explain each and every time all those subtle steps, just to remind you, you are doing it. Inhalation and exhalation are same. There is total expansion of the rib cage and total contraction of the rib cage. And then I also discussed about it. Your mind creates a problem. No, I cannot do it. Let me stop it. No, you cannot stop it. You think, reflect. That is the reflection. Oh, let me have an endurance. I will continue to do it. Why? It will change my life. So I have to do it, and that endurance will turn into a joy of doing. It happened to many people in the session. They always enjoy. Even the Barbara, who is almost, I don't want to tell her age, but, and still she always told, she shared her experience. Oh, it's so wonderful. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath into the rib cage through both the nostrils, picking. You have picked a point in the space inside the forehead. Body, except the rib cage, the body remains in the state of the steadiness. Continue long, deep in the hissing breath. We have to do this entire practice one day. We'll have less of talks and more of the practice, which may last for about 50 minutes. One day we will do it. And now leave this step. Look at the flow of the breath. Looking at the flow of the breath and start breathing. Deep, long and silent breathing. So here you have a pointed awareness on the deep, silent, slow breathing. How? Pointed awareness. The moment you start inhaling, move the mind from the top center of the head into the spine, reaching to the tailbone, singing mentally, Om Shanti. You start feeling some sensation vibes there. And as you exhale, the mind starts moving upward, singing Om Shanti, reaching to the top center of the head. Yes, it is, if you feel consciously those sensations, they are definitely pointed towards the progress into your deeper meditation. But mind it, unlike other teachers will say, oh, you are awakened, that is craziness. Awakened is a state that cannot depend on your vibrations and sensations. I have been maintaining the same knowledge to you all the time, coming from the Eastern wisdom. I'm awakened means it is independent of the changing world. Changing world is influenced. And that is why he said, yes, it is a sign of the progress, that is enough. But if you have those sensations, people say, oh, it has to do with my awakening, then I can put electricity signals into your spine. We already have many ways of doing it. Now leave this, looking at the 16 segments of the fingers, rubbing Om Shanti. And here is one step where you can observe the mood and the mode of the mind. Mood, how the mind is processing the information of dropping Om Shanti on each segment of a finger. And if it changes the mood, means what? Every time the mind says yes, 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 and then it gets absorbed, and then depends on your subjective experience. I believe I made the things clear. Now leave this step also, moving the mind inside the heart. Visualize the triangle pointing apart, equilateral triangle, moving the mind casually with awareness on each side of the triangle, dropping Om Shanti clockwise, anti-clockwise. Discovering mind is sinking. When it is, that is the moment. Push the mind mentally deep into the cave of your heart. Mind seems to stop. Mood and mood of the mind, both stops. What is left? Shanti. And then do nothing. So doing nothing is transcending, in a sense, transcending the ego. That we live in a field of awareness minus the so-called. So we open the gateway to awakening. So you said that it leads to self-absorption. So there is no thought in the self-absorption. How will you know if you are absorbed or not? There is a remote thought which says, "No, I'm totally absorbed. My mind is not going anywhere." You know all this. So it means there is a subtle thought. Yes. Only difference is that you have a subtle thought. It does not create a chain reaction of a hamster wheel. You have broken that wheel. Right? You set your mind for revelation. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your both of arms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the arms, know your experiences. First, share our experiences. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. Meditation was very peaceful and quiet, and after the breathing there were some sensations, and when you said that these sensations certainly not a sign of awakening but a sign of a progress, that triggered some contemplation. And I think what happens here is that these sensations are not the product of meditation or some sort of something that is created in or by meditation. These sensations are just a normal indication of normal function of the physical body or subtle body or any other bodies that you may have. And what happens in the our ordinary life, we just don't notice them. They just they are filtered out by millions of other impressions and thoughts that we have. And when we go into deeper meditation, we drop these thoughts that don't allow us to recognize more subtler things like these sensations. So I think this is the way you teachers recognize the progress when the seekers explain about their sensations, that you know that their mind is a little bit more clear now, so that they are able to recognize these things. So this is what was my contemplation today.
Beautifully said. Any sensation, they rise, they fall. So rise, fall, subjected to time in the space, means they are changing. Whatever is changing is not the real self. So it has nothing to do with awakening. That is one way to look at it. That is beautifully explained. Second thing is very important to understand. When my mind leaves millions of distractions outside, it is gathered. Meditation, one way to define meditation is to gather the threads of the consciousness scattered outside. So when it is gathered inside, I leave lot of them. So that leaves me in a state of beautiful vibration and sensations, otherwise of which I am not aware in my daily life. I still can feel that prana just outside my head or outside my fingers. It depends on the purity of the mind. Or you are in a higher aware. Rightly said, we are approaching the Eastern wisdom with that clarity. Yes, Stephen, what you have to say?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My meditation was predominantly blank, and the only time that my mind was engaged was during the transitions of the steps through it, and when I noticed the sensations at the bottom and top of the breath, both in my lower spine and at the top of my head. Outside of that, it was just completely blank. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yes. Great pointer is that we are aware at the moment of transition that something is happening, otherwise I am absorbed. Obviously, it tells the higher state of the mind. Beautifully said. Brian, you want to say something?
Yes, thank you again. Two things. One, the question that you posed at the beginning of the meditation was helpful for me, and you just asked, "What do you want?" Right? And I think that's a great, and the answer is peace. But I think that's a great question to ask the mind when it starts with its ego and insecurity and all of that. And then the second thing was when you pointed out that when we're not operating from the mind, that we're aware of that, but nothing's happening. I was in that space and able to maintain without running after, the hamster wheel, I guess, was broken in effect.
Yes. When the hamster wheel is broken, or that is what our masters are saying, we transcend it. Mind can run on autopilot again, but now I transcend. Now I have a choice. One, to go back, not to go back. So what is that state? Is the state of knowledge? Yes. It is the state of awareness? Yes. It is the state. I wake up in the morning today around 3:45. So, mind, where are you? And I said, I'm the real self of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. So sometimes I keep the image of the Shiva. You might have seen the Shiva. And I could feel the Shiva is in front of me. It has to do with the spiritual consciousness? Yes, it is there. But sometimes I find my master is in front of me. So we have those indications. Indications again. We have to ultimately reach to the real self. Yes, so live into that. Every day in the morning. You're not Brandy, your real self. How are you?
Thank you, sir. All fine, sir. Everything is.
Who is speaking?
Yeah, I was saying, sir, all fine.
All fine,
mind was
okay.
calm and.
Okay, all fine. Terry, you want to say something? You are not Terry, you are real self.
My experience there within the space there were times when the mind would run away in an unconscious way.
Beautiful.
Other times there was no thought.
Beautiful.
The times of no thought were preferable.
Good.
That's better. Every time I caught myself, then I would stop the thought.
I am real self every day in the morning. But real self is not the body. So the problems that you have in the body is not you. You are not the body. Mind, you are not the mind. So the contents of the mind is not you. You are not the ignorance, you are not the ego. So I am of the nature of pure consciousness, of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. Finished. Reached there. Yes, sir, do you want to say anything, Ashok? Or you want to say namaste to everyone?
Namaste to everyone.
Sir,
namaste, sir.
Namaste to everyone. Continue.
सर मैं कभी
वहाँ
से आए, हम लोग 1 वीक के लिए ऋषिकेश जा रहे थे.
अच्छा.
अच्छा. तो ये कल रात की लौटे वक्त गुरु पड़ी बाबू
That is all for today. Thank